Hello everybody. Now we are going to speak about how big a threat is Hamas. And we start with the nationalism. Nationalism has been the most important force in modern history, resisting and outlasting all totalitarianisms. It easily merges with religious fundamentalism, which is another way to affirm identity. It makes use of terrorism because this is the weapon of the weak. Fundamentalism and nationalism were parallel forces at work in the Caucasus and the Middle East long ago. Nationalism and terrorism, a part of it, drove the Zionists' war against the British and Palestinians before Israel was created. Palestinian terrorism has been part of the war against Israel ever since. Hamas grew out of Intifada, the Palestinian uprising against Israeli occupation that began in late 1987. It was an offshoot of an Islamic Social and Welfare Association led by Sheikh Ahmad Yassin, a quadriplegic religious leader. Ironically, Israel did not oppose Hamas in its early stages. It viewed the group as a useful counterbalance to the PLO, not a potentially dangerous brand of radical Islam that would later seek to destroy the state. But in 1989, Hamas, losing popular support to Palestinian nationalists, turned to armed attacks. That year, the authorities arrested Sheikh Yassin and charged him with ordering his adherents to murder Palestinians suspected of collaborating with Israel. The arrest of the leadership opened the door to the younger, more activist, more radical trend, says Beverly Milton Edward, a specialist on Islamic politics in Palestine. They recruited members from mosques and charitable institutions, often from clinics, schools, and sporting clubs they run. Contrary to popular perception, says Milton Edwards, the people most supportive of Hamas are educated, upwardly mobile classes of Gaza. By the early of 1990s, Hamas started receiving training from the Muslim Brothers in Jordan and fundamentalists returning from the Afghan war. Money poured in from Saudi Arabia, other Persian Gulf states, and Iran, and even from sympathizers in the United States and Europe. Israeli intelligence agents have had a very difficult time infiltrating Hamas and have had little luck using collaborators and informants. Sealing the borders of Gaza and the West Bank hasn't worked well either. Hamas's military wing, whose members are said to number to no more than several hundred, has now become a collection of largely autonomous and highly secretive cells. Intimidated by Israeli and PLO authorities, Hamas has turned its wrath rapidly on civilians inside the Jewish state and vowed to disrupt the peace progress. The new Israeli-Jordanian treaty may force King Hussein to keep a more watchful eye on Hamas, but he won't be able to stop them from funneling money to Gaza and the West Bank. In fact, a more open flow of people between the two countries should make their activities easier. Hamas remains well positioned politically too. While trying to avoid conflict with Palestinian police, fundamentalists have vowed to continue battling Israel. And Israel can't afford to stop talking to Palestine. At the very least, Hamas will remain a deadly player. We understand there is no alternative but to continue the process of negotiating, a Hamas spokesman said. Hundreds of Hamas actions won't stop it, so why continue? This is a process of resistance to occupation, he says. Nobody knows what the end result would be. Judging by history, it will mean continued bloodshed. Thank you very much for your attention. Goodbye.